Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Face to Face. Yours truly, Nesta Ken, and it's the official countdown to episode 100 of Face to Face. And today we have a special guest returning all the way from Houston, Texas. She goes by the name of Ashley. How are you doing, Ashley? Welcome back to the show.
I'm doing.
Speak up a little, sweetie.
Yeah, there we go.
Come a little
Sorry.
closer, yeah.
I'm doing good. I'm on track. Let me say that.
You on track?
I'm on track.
All right. So let's jump right into it. We were supposed to do this show last month when it was Mental Health Awareness Month, I believe.
Yeah.
But we got, vacations came in, priorities came up. So, we had to do it this month of June. So let's get right into it. Mental health. How important is it, and are you suffering from mental health?
Mental health is very important to me. I can only speak for myself. I cannot speak for anyone else. But to me, mental health is very important. And yes, I am suffering with mental health, and I honestly think I've been suffering with mental health for a very, very long time, even as a child.
Really?
Yes.
How does one know that they're suffering from mental health? Because, a lot of people are in denial.
Different signs. I think at one point I had a good job, was making good money, was in a relationship, and I remember talking to my mom, and I was like, "Mom, I'm depressed." Why? I don't know. I'm depressed. Oh, well, I wasn't happy with my job. It was a good job. I was making good money. I was not happy with my job. I was grateful for it, but I was not happy. And the hardest thing in the world was trying to explain to my mother that I'm grateful, but I'm not happy, and those are two different things.
When you say that, were you not happy with yourself or just the job? Do you think the job made you depressed, or just overall you weren't just happy?
I think overall I wasn't just happy. Just period. Like, my relationship wasn't bad. Job, hey, I'm making $5,000-$6,000 a month. Who wouldn't be happy with that?
Right.
The job was really, really, really stressful, really straining on me. So I was not happy. It started me just, how they say when it rains, it pours?
Right, yeah.
I felt like it just started to pour. Like, I started overanalyzing everything in life. Like, why am I not where I want to be? And I'm just still here. I'm not moving. I'm stuck. I'm all of these things. And, people tell you, don't look at so-and-so's life.
Right.
And don't compare their life to yours. But I'm like, that's the only canvas that I have. I don't have another canvas.
Which is gonna lead me to another question I have. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, like, it's really hard when that is the only other canvas that you have. Is, for an example, my sister, and I love my sister very, very dearly, but I was often comparing myself to, like, golly, she don't even go to church. I go to church. I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and man, she did this and she got that. I'm the good one. Why it feels like she was the one that was always gaining, and I wasn't. And I was just looking at the outside of her canvas and not really looking at the inside of her canvas. Yeah. Because she was suffering mentally too at one point.
Yeah, I was going to say that because people mask it a little bit different. So some people, they just say, some people are suffering from mental health issues and they show it. Some people are suffering from it and they don't show it. They just know how to disguise it a little bit better. So you never know what anyone's going through. A lot of people, you hear about people who have all this money, have all this fame, they look happy, they have a great life, and then next thing you know, they committed suicide. So you never know what people are going through. So that's why you should never compare your life to someone else's life, So
definitely, I am a master of disguise.
I mean, it's easier said than done. Sometimes we say that, but then,
I gotten very, very good at masking it. I can put it to you that way.
Oh, really?
And I can't even say so very, very good at masking it. I got better with coping with it versus dealing with it. You know, for an example, the last time I was here, I was like really, really mentally depressed, but no one could tell from the laughter and me talking and me. I was really, really depressed. And me and a friend of mine stopped being friends after about 16 years because to them, if I was so sad and I was so depressed, why was I out? But that was my way of coping. Me being out, me going dancing, me going drinking, me going having fun was my way of coping with what I was going through at that time.
Yeah.
And that's the other hard thing about mental health. What your way of coping with it might not be my way of coping with it.
Right.
So you can't be so quick to judge someone
Right.
for it. I was having a conversation with someone literally on the flight here about like depression and just like it's really, really ugly. It's a nasty thing and everyone handles it differently. Bringing back up another sister of mine. Oh, we all felt like she was just lazy. She was dirty. She wasn't cleaning up. All she was doing was just laying down, house looking a mess, like, And, you know, my mama would tell me that she's depressed. I'm like, no, she not. She ain't depressed. She going out with her friends, you know. She ain't depressed. She just lazy. She just don't want to get up. It wasn't until it's me that I realized that my sister was really depressed because that's me. I don't want to get out of my bed. I struggle with saying, get up.
Do you think this the question is not here, but I was now that you're speaking, do you think it could be like a hereditary thing? It could run in the family, like mental health. Do you think mental health could like be one of those things that runs in the family?
I don't think it's one of those things that run in a family. I think it's one of those generational things through life experiences that cause it to run in a family. If you get what I'm saying, like,
well, if you see it growing up in the household, basically, you're one to like feed off of it and grow up. If you grow up around it, seeing that your mom went through it and your dad went through it, most likely the kids will go through it too. One of those kind of things.
life situations.
Okay.
Type things. Life situations. So
Abuse, rape.
What's that word?
Like,
Molestation
right.
throughout the family. Like, I think those
kids
certain
being bullied.
Kids being bullied, kids being separated from mom and dad, seeing mom and dad go through things. I think those generational things constantly happen through generation causes depression in the same family. So for me, not growing up with my other siblings, I grew up separate. My grandparents raised me. I would hear all sorts of things go on. The relationship with my dad wasn't great. So I would often be depressed and felt unloved and unwanted.
Right.
So my goal for my kids was, no matter what, my two kids was going to grow up in the same house with each other. I didn't care what I had to go through. I didn't care what I had to do. They were going to grow up underneath the same roof.
Right.
That was a goal that I had for my kids. And now, generational speaking, my son's father isn't active in his life.
Right.
And my daughter's father, he is there, but we're not in the same house.
But at least you make sure that she has something that you didn't have.
She has something that, well, it's almost very similar to what I had with my dad.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like,
I thought your dad wasn't present at all.
No. My dad was around.
Okay.
My dad was around. I have some memories of him. My dad got married when I was about 5. I have a wonderful stepmom. I can honestly say she loved me as if I was her own child. I never forget my prom. I was supposed to have my prom dress made. The lady totally destroyed my dress, and we had to go get a dress right before her prom. Like literally hours before prom.
Oh wow!
And you know, it was her and my mother with me, and she pulled out a checkbook and she wrote a check for me to have a prom dress. So yeah, my dad was there, but it's just like certain things that I like remember growing up, me living constantly with my grandparents. I remember crying and wanting to go to my dad's house and ask him to come pick me up, and he didn't come. And I remember my grandmother getting on the phone and fussing about it. And I think I either went the next day or that night he had came and got me. But it's those things that plays a part of my depression. Sometimes I think it plays a part of my relationships too. I feel like I'm constantly looking for that gratification.
They do say that, you know, if a woman doesn't grow up without her father, she looks for that love in other men that she dates, and if she doesn't get that, she's kind of needy. Do you believe in that?
God, I'm so freaking needy. Yeah, I'm very needy. Now that you put it that way, I'm super needy.
I mean, that's just a saying, you know. So I mean, there are like a lot of sayings, like they say, if a man is close to his mother, most likely he'll treat his girlfriend or his wife the right way because he had that love from his mother. So
yeah.
I mean, it's not that all the time. It's not the way all the time, but you know.
But I did have a man in my life, my grandfather.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, I honestly, for me, like I consider my grandfather my father.
Yeah.
That, to me, that was my dad. He raised me. Right. He would get up and walk me to the bus stop every morning, like I was in high school. And I was 16, and I remember this car coming down the street, and I start to walk home because this is a strange car. You know, when you grow up in a neighborhood, you typically know the cars that come down the street.
Right.
And the car passed me up, and he gets out the car, and he gets something from the trunk. Like, I can't see it, but I see plastic bags and everything. And I shoot off running through my neighbor's backyard, hopping fences to get to my house and banging on the door. Ever since then, my grandfather got up every single morning and walked me to the bus stop. If it was raining, he pulled the car out and he drove me to the bus stop. He had the umbrella to walk me to the bus, and he was there every afternoon when I got off the bus.
Oh, wow. See, you have some good memories.
Oh, gosh, I have some wonderful memories.
Is he still alive?
No.
Oh, wow.
He died in 2012.
And you were heartbroken about that.
You know, I actually took his death harder than I took my grandmother's. And I thought that I would have took my grandmother's harder. I think hers came as an expectation to me. She was 89 years old. So hers came as a expectation for me. I remember his so vividly because I remember my dad telling me that grandpa in the hospital. I was like, okay, I'll be down there next week. You know, I'm gonna come and we gonna argue about me driving him home because my grandfather swore I couldn't drive. He really couldn't drive. He had 2 cataracts, but he was like 80 something years old and he was still driving his car. So we would argue and I would still end up bringing him home. But I was like, yeah, I just go argue with him next week and bring him home.
Right.
I get down there and I knew.
You just know.
I knew. Yeah. And I remember crying by his bed and telling him that it's okay and I'm going to be fine and he could move on.
How old was he?
89.
Oh, they both were 89?
They both were 89. I find that so amazing. They both were 89 years old. So, but yeah, I mean, I had an amazing man in my life. But growing up in my grandparents' house, it wasn't a lot of I love yous. I don't remember that. I don't remember the I love yous. And although they say love is action, it's also something that needs to be heard.
I tell people that all the time. It's very rare that we actually tell our kids, you know, tell your kids how much you're proud of them and tell them how much you love them. And I tell my friends that who have children, I don't have any children, they look at me like I'm crazy. You know, sometimes you have to keep drilling that inside them or keep saying it all the time, you know. It may sound cheesy, but listen, it goes a long way.
It is. It's very, very true that you should do that because majority of the times when your kids hear from you is when they done something wrong. That is when you really think about it. Majority of the times when your kids hear something from you is when they done something wrong. So to break that chain and to break that mentality, balance it. It's kind of like that sandwich effect. Something bad, something good, label it with something bad, and then top it off with something good. So you got your bread, your meat, and all that. It's like you have to balance it.
Right.
And that is something that I am trying to do more and more with my kids, because I even noticed that me as a parent, the only time my kids really hear me is when I'm fussing. It's never, oh, how was school today? Or, oh, wow, you did that at school? Wow, mommy's really, really proud of you. You know, I have to start doing that more as a parent. And I noticed that within the past 2 years of my life that I needed to start doing that more. Every morning when my son leaves, I make sure that I tell him that I love him. And even though me and my daughter bump heads like this, like that is the mini me. That is me trying to beat the me out of her. If we get into it in the morning and I drop her off at school, I'll be like, I love you, baby. Have a good day. And she be, I said, I love you. I said, I'll be out the window at the school. I said, I love you. I love you too, Mom. Because you never know what can happen.
Right.
And I would just hate that the last thing that my kids heard from me was, I told you to wash the dishes. You don't never listen. You unappreciative. And I would hate that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I had to learn to appreciate my mom, because I don't tell people this a lot, but every morning, just every time I leave the house, my mom always must walk me to the door. And every time I'll go downstairs and walk outside, she looks out the window and looks at me. She said, "You never know when's the last time we're going to see each other. So you want it to be where at least the last time, whether I go before her or she goes before me, that is a good memory, you know."
Yeah.
She always said that to me. I always say, "Oh, whatever," you know. But I'm starting to appreciate it more now. You know, but at least you're aware of what's going on and what you're trying to do and what you're trying to change. So that's good, you know.
I'm very, very, unfortunately, I'm very, very aware of it. I don't know whether I should say unfortunately or fortunately. I am very, very aware of it. I also think that mental health has, triggers. There's certain things that can trigger you into feeling depressed or feeling over anxious or feeling sad, things like that. Where was I going? So for me, a lot of mine is relationships. Relationships. That's the time that I found myself being more sad, being more depressed than anything is after a bad breakup.
I was going to ask you that. Is it during the relationship or is it afterwards?
I was actually only depressed one time during a relationship, and that was with the last relationship that I talked about.
Okay, yeah.
And I really couldn't understand why I was depressed, because I felt like everything was great, but
right.
Yeah, I found myself being more depressed after the relationships or after the breakups, which goes into I am going back to therapy again, because I want to figure out how to balance my emotions and control my emotions until they don't over explode and blow up on me and I go crazy, as someone would say, because I don't know how to balance my emotions. I'll tell anybody, hurt me has no filter. Hurt me has no conscience. Hurt me has no anything, because I am hurt. And so, yeah, I'm back into therapy. I personally feel like therapy is needed for everyone, whether you are just genuinely good, got good luck, got happy, everything great's coming to you, life is brilliant. I still think that everyone needs just a little bit of therapy in life.
Yeah.
And it just sucks that mental health cost is ridiculous.
And that was actually my next question. I was going to segue into that. I was going to ask you, therapy. Do you think therapy is important? Do you believe in therapy? And can it help mental health issues?
I do believe in therapy.
You answered it, yeah.
I do believe in therapy. I believe if someone is open to it, it can help. I'm not a person that believes in medicine per se, but there are some hormonal and chemical imbalances too that can cause certain things.
Right. Do you think those school shootings and what happened in the supermarket, it happened in Texas, right? Which one happened? One happened in Buffalo, one happened in Texas for the kids. Do you think that was some kind of mental health issues? Do you think mental health played a role in those two cases? I mean, we don't know, but what do you think?
I do think mental health played a role in those cases, but I think it was, I want to say advanced mental health, but not advanced mental health. But I think like psychopathic, schizophrenic type mental health issues, severe mental health issues, in better words, played a part in those things.
Yeah. They'll say we all suffer for some type of mental health. Do you believe that even people who don't show it are still going through something as well?
I have someone that I extremely care about.
Yeah.
When I say extremely care about, like I extremely care about him. And he doesn't understand depression. He doesn't understand anxiety. It's so funny because we get into it and I be like, oh my God, I'm having anxiety. He was like, why are you having anxiety? It's not that complicated. It's simple. It'll be something as simple as me and him spending a day together and I'll be like, I'm having a bunch of anxiety. I don't know what I'm going to wear. I don't know what. He was like, just put on some clothes. And I'm like, you don't understand.
Yeah.
Because he does not understand it.
Yeah.
He's like, anxiety is something serious. I'm like, I know. And unfortunately, I have anxiety over any freaking thing. I had anxiety over the flight here. I got anxiety because I got to catch the flight back tomorrow.
What do you go through when people say anxiety? Everyone has a different ways, different experiences with anxiety. What do you go through?
Mine is just like severely overthinking. Severely overthinking. I'm going to give you an example of probably one of the worst days I had anxiety. Jersey went on a field trip.
Mm-hmm. Jersey's her daughter.
Yeah, Jersey's my daughter. And I woke up, I was fine. I was like, yeah, my baby's going on her first field trip. I think I lay down and turned on TikTok, and there was something about a kidnapping. I text that teacher every single hour on the hour. Where's Jersey? What is she doing? What is she doing? Where's she at?
Yeah.
How is she? Like, because now in my mind it's like, oh my God, my daughter's on a field trip. She went to this farm. What if one of the workers are crazy? What if one of the workers take her? What if one of the workers do this? What if that happens? What if this happens? What? It's just like my brain goes into triple overload and I just cannot think about anything other than like, oh my God, something happened. So the example that I gave about the guy when we was going to hang out, I was like, okay, what do I pack? So I don't want to pack that because then I might look fat. Okay, well maybe he's not going to like that, so I don't want to wear that. And like now I'm having a whole panic attack over something that's supposed to be just as simple as just go and spend a day and go and have a great time.
Yeah.
I'm having a whole freaking anxiety attack over it. Sometimes it's so bad until I hyperventilate.
Wow.
The flights here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Those are the ones that's like, oh my God, I gotta catch a flight. And then the plane is taking off and I'm like this. And everybody's looking at me, I'm like, leave me alone.
So that's what you go through when you're going through anxiety.
Yeah, it's just it's excessive thinking, and sometimes it's so bad like I can't sleep.
Speaking of your kids, right? Do you pay close attention to them? And because we talk about it being passed down, do you pay mental issues? Since we're talking about mental health issues, do you pay attention to them and see if they're going through it as well at a young age?
I put both of my kids in therapy.
Oh, they're in therapy as well?
I put them both in therapy.
Okay.
I gotta find them another therapist because of insurance and all of these things.
Oh, the insurance doesn't cover them?
Yeah, therapy is. It's needed, but it's so expensive. So, for an example,
they know people need it, but they make it expensive.
Yeah, it's same thing as mental. I mean, it's same thing as medical health care. You know, we need medical health care, but it's so expensive. But honestly, I cannot lie. I feel like mental health and medical care is on the same level. They're exactly on the same level.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be something as simple as a copay to go and see a therapist. So my one company I was working for, they had good insurance. I think I was only paying a copay. Somewhere else, it was still like almost $85, $90 for me to go see the therapist for an hour. And I'm needing to see my therapist at least once a week. That's at a least, or once every other week. So I'm looking at an extra $400 to $200 a month. On top of, I'm already stressed out and depressed about all my other bills. So it's like, at some point, it's like, okay, we don't have to learn how to balance this and get it together, or do something. I was like, it's no better way to start feeling better when you got to go see a therapist and you already broke. Suddenly you feel better.
Yeah.
Because you got to pick the lesser of the two evils. Like either I'm going to be able to pay my rent and be okay, or I'm about to be depressed and still go and see the therapist and I'm depressed because I can't afford nothing. Which one is it going to be?
Right.
That is ridiculous to me. But yeah, I did have both of my kids in therapy. The therapist, she was okay. She just wasn't like, I'm a working single mom. You want to see my kids at 2:30 when they're in school. You don't work weekends. Like, work with me. I cannot pull them out of school. Because then I got that problem of me constantly pulling them out of school.
Right.
It wasn't doctor recommended. So, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So it's good that you actually watching and you doing something about it, like putting them in therapy and stuff. Because you said you found out you were suffering from it at a young age, and nowadays it's.
I didn't find out I was suffering from it at a young age.
Or you were.
I realized
okay.
now that I was suffering from it at a young age.
Oh, okay. So your kids might be going through it too right now, especially nowadays with like all this stuff on social media and stuff. Which is my next question. Social media. How do you feel about social media? That plays a role in mental health.
Social media, and I would say
that's where you start comparing your lives to other people's lives, and it's like,
social media is a slow climb to depression if you are not careful.
Yeah,
it is a slow climb to depression if you're not careful. I recently watched the documentary called Social Dilemma.
Oh, that's what you were telling me about the other day?
Yes.
Yeah, you said we are going to talk about it. So yeah.
I recently watched the documentary, and it was very, very good to watch that how these tech engineers and how social media is designed to keep you addicted.
Yeah.
Like, each person almost have their own, I don't even know the tech word, but like algorithm.
Yeah.
Each person has their own algorithm. So social media pays so much close attention to who page you go and look at, what you're doing to keep you circulating, to keep you into it. At one point, and me watching this, it was so funny because at one point when I was like really sad and going through stuff, Instagram would constantly have like these motivational quotes and stuff going on. I'm like, well, how does Instagram know?
No.
And it's like, are they feeling my energy through the phone? Like, what's going on? But it would be something as simple as I can have a conversation with my friend and hang up, and then bam, it's there.
It's there, right?
It was super hard for me after that miscarriage because everything on Facebook, Instagram was all pregnancy. I had never seen so many. I was about to cuss. I have never seen so many freaking women pregnant in my life. Now, the whole time I was pregnant, I ain't seen nobody pregnant. The moment I had a miscarriage, everybody on my newsfeed is popping up pregnant. Like, what is this?
Yeah, they're very they're very deep is how they do it. Yeah. Whatever you click on, you start to click. And they even get people who like to shop a lot like that too.
Yeah.
You look at something and keep popping up. Like even if you shop on something on Amazon, like you're going through social media on Instagram and you'll see like a little ad pop up on something that you like. So they're not. It's crazy. It's really crazy. One click button and it goes to the website. Yeah, but.
I'm addicted to Jordans, like addicted to Jordans and Nike Dunks. Like, I kid you not. And all my Instagram news feed is all these upcoming shoes that are coming out. It's crazy. But in this documentary, they are wanting to hold these places accountable.
And this is on Netflix. What's the name of it again?
The Social Dilemma.
The Social Dilemma on Netflix. Okay, so definitely got to check that out. Is it like a 1-part, 2-part series?
It's a 1-part series, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish they would have did more parts and broke it down some more. It really made me take a second look and a second glance of just how addicted social media is, and it is designed to be addicted.
Yeah.
It is designed to draw you back. If you ever noticed, if you've taken a break from, let's just say, one social media, it's a notification to bring you back out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because they want you back.
They want you back, yeah.
They get paid per click. Yeah. And this includes YouTube, this includes TikTok, this includes Instagram, this includes Facebook.
Everything, yeah.
This includes all of those. They even talked about WhatsApp. And I'm like, God damn, I'm addicted to WhatsApp too. Hold on. They even talked about WhatsApp.
Yeah.
All those are designed to be addictive.
That's why they were trying to make. Remember one time they were trying to make WhatsApp, you had to pay like $1 or a penny or something. People was like,
Yeah.
that's not gonna work. Ignore that because
You ain't paying.
you're not paying.
You remember the BlackBerry? What was that?
BBM.
The BBM.
Yeah, the BBM
Yes.
pen. What's your pen? What's your pen?
What's your pen? What's your pen? Yes, BBM was life.
They say these are the 5 mental health disorders. What do you think about them? You mentioned some of them: depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, dementia, and autism. What do you think about those?
I did not know about dementia.
Yeah, I didn't know about that too, but
I thought dementia was deterioration,
The deterioration of your brain, yeah,
that's
you
what
can
I
see
thought
now,
dementia
yeah.
was as you got older.
yeah,
Depression is definitely one. What else did you say?
bipolar disorder,
Bipolar disorder.
schizophrenia. You mentioned
I
that,
mentioned schizophrenia.
and autism.
I don't know if I agree with autism.
Yeah, I
being on
know.
there.
I was like, how does autism?
I don't know if I agree with autism, but I definitely would say anxiety should be on there.
Yeah. Anxiety should definitely be on there. I'm gonna put you in a hot seat and ask you some questions, okay? I'm peeking over here. All right.
I'm nosy.
So you gotta just answer it and be straight up.
Whoa, I'm always straight up.
All right. What are some of your best experiences you had this year?
This year?
This is questions they say they ask people who are going through mental health issues.
My best
There were like 50 of them. I just picked 10 of them.
My best experience that I had this year is in 2022.
Yeah, 2022. I mean, we're halfway in the year. It's June, but so far. It's hard.
It is hard. Come back to that one. Give me the next question.
All right. What did you do to support your emotional well-being this year?
Drink.
Really?
Really, like I used to like.
But like you said, you can't tell someone how to cope with
it.
Cope with it.
So I used to have a rule like I cannot drink when I'm depressed or sad because I felt like I would become an alcoholic. Because suddenly you find yourself self-medicating and you don't realize that you're self-medicating. You don't realize that you're numbing yourself from exactly what is going on with you instead of facing it and dealing with it.
Yeah, so you're not really solving the problem.
So you're not really solving the problem.
Delaying it. A little bit.
Just delaying it. Like, okay, let me take this shot. Let me drink a little bit more, and I can go home and I can sleep. Type ordeal. But
then tomorrow's back there again.
And tomorrow that same problem is back there. I mean, but that's what it is. Some people do drugs, and they don't realize that I can't say smoking weed, but taking pills, cocaine, all that different stuff. They don't realize that I'm just numbing myself from what's actually going on because I'm dealing with it, but I'm not dealing with it. So no, I did this year. I drank a lot. Drank a lot. I think at one point I was like, yo, I gotta take a 30-day break because I've been on like a 15-day binge of drinking. But I do have some very, very supportive friends. I can honestly say that. They was all like, hey, you want to hang out? Sure. You want to go drink? Sure. You want to go do this? Sure. You want to do that? Sure. And then I got on the goddamn dating campus. Oh, my God. It's a free meal, free alcohol. Yay. That was...
Actually, you're a mess.
Hey, that was the freaking life. Yo, I went on 5 dates.
In 1 week?
3 days.
Wow.
So the way I pulled myself more out of the depression that I was in from what happened, just to run down from what happened, in case you didn't watch the other show, I was in about a 2-year, year and a half relationship.
Long distance relationship.
And he was pretty much with someone else the entire time and had been with them even before he got with me, and we both was pregnant. I had a miscarriage. All that fun stuff happened, and I was like really, really devastated because it's someone I would talk about spending the rest of my life with. And so all that happened, so I had to get myself back. So normally I would cry for like a month or something like that, just cry my eyes out. what do they call? Go stalk the Facebook pages, find out everything I can find out, all that great stuff. But this time I was like, nah, not doing it. I have a favorite ex, and I call him my favorite ex because he is truly my favorite comfort zone. I truly do care for him. I love him, all of the above, but the relationship between me and him is just not meant to be at this moment in time in our life.
Right.
I end up talking to him, and he came, and that's when it started. Took me out dancing, and that's when the party started.
Okay.
That's when the partying started. But yeah, I got on the Facebook dating app. I met some amazing people on there. I'm still friends with a lot of them. A lot of them are amazing people. I can't even say their names or their nicknames because then they'll kind of know who they are because everybody kind of got a nickname. But I met some amazing people there, and that's really how I got myself out of it. I went on a bunch of random ass dates, a bunch of good ass food, a bunch of good ass alcohol. And now I'm still processing. Like, I still have my days to where like I am not happy. Come to find out from my therapist, I go through something called apathy.
I've heard about that. Explain what that is.
Where you just feel numb, you feel nothing. And I have my days of that.
Do you think it's because all the damages that you've been going through in your relationship now you're more numb to that?
I do feel like all the damages that I've been through in past relationships
has something.
Yes, has something to do with this right now.
Yeah.
Even past relationships from my dad.
Oh wow, it goes all the way back.
It goes all the way back to that. From wanting to feel accepted and be a part of my family, it goes all the way back to that. I discovered that I am a people pleaser. I want to do things to make people happy because I wanted to be accepted and I wanted to be loved.
Right.
I discovered that about myself, and now I'm just like straight opposite of that. Like, this is my life, this is me. And I had to get back to loving myself, and I had to ask myself at one point, what is loving yourself?
Yeah, when you hear about people saying you must love yourself first before you love other people, people ask that question like, how do I do that? How do I love myself?
Like what is loving myself? Yeah. Like, what is that?
Yeah. And what is the answer that you found out?
For me, loving myself was stop constantly being a people pleaser.
Putting people before yourself.
Putting people before yourself. And start doing what makes you happy versus what makes someone else happy to be accepted. And the funny thing is that I realized this before I got into that last relationship. I started to realize this before my best friend passed away, because he would always tell me that, like, you need to love you. You need to make you happy.
Right.
Why you acting like that with him? That ain't you. That ain't how you act. Be you. Be you.
Right.
And that's why I'm like, eventually someone is going to love me for me. Like,
exactly.
I think in a relationship you have to make adjustments to a certain degree, but you shouldn't have to 360 change yourself.
Yeah, right.
And that's what I feel like at some point, for me to be in a relationship and to be with someone, I feel like that's what I was doing at some point, like 360 changing myself.
Yeah.
And I won't do it.
That's why when people try to portray something that they're not, it's like, you got to be yourself, because if that person accepts that phony side of you, now you got to keep that up.
You got to keep that up, and that does get exhausting.
In the minute that you can't keep it up anymore, you hear that you've changed. Of course they've changed. They were never like that. So
I was never myself.
Yeah, so you got to be yourself. What do you think about healing first before you go into the next relationship? A lot of people don't heal. Take that time to heal. They jump into another relationship because, we're so used to, being in love and having that, being that comfort, or, just being with somebody, that when we're not with somebody, it drives us crazy. So we try to just latch on to somebody or anybody, which could be dangerous, a rebound person.
That can be dangerous, but sometimes the other relationship is what helps heal you.
You think so?
In certain instances, I do believe that sometimes the other relationship is what heals you.
I mean, if you just jump into another relationship with somebody, just to jump into it so you won't be thinking about your ex.
Sometimes it can be what heals you. I'm trying to figure out a way to. I'm trying to figure out a way to portray this storyline
Because then you got the other person saying, so you were never really into me. You just using me to get to your ex. You wasted my time, and you also wasted your time. That's why it never worked out.
No, but I do know someone who got out of a relationship immediately and is now with the love of their life. And had she not given that person a chance,
Yeah.
where would she be at right now?
So that person,
He helped healed her.
oh, so it was a guy that you're talking about.
It was a girl.
It was a girl, and basically she got out of a relationship and jumped in with this guy really quick. Was that guy on the side, or was a friend on the sideline, or just
They
someone
knew
who
each
got-
other.
There we go.
They knew
I
each
mean,
other prior.
I mean, okay, that's what I'm saying. Hey,
But I can give you another story of someone else I know.
It could happen.
Who ended in a bad relationship, a bunch of lies.
Yeah.
He was lying. He had a wife and all this stuff. She ended up meeting the love of her life not even a month after that, and they're married.
Oh, wow.
And they did not know each other.
Did not know each other. So she,
No.
So she jumped into another relationship right away, and it's at the love of her life now.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it can happen.
Yeah. Do you believe in healing first? Getting back to the question, do you believe in taking time to heal and then jump into another relationship, or it all depends on the situation?
I think each person should know their damage level. Like me right now, I tell anybody like, yo, you don't want to be with me right now. Not right now. It's not the time. Not today, Satan. Not today. You don't want to be with me right now. Not right now.
So do you think you should go into...
Well, I can't say not right now, but back then,
Right.
in February, March, April time, like, nah. Now, nah, I'm gonna make it through hot girl summer. I'm sorry, I'm gonna make it through my hot girl summer first. Then come talk to me, cause it's hot girl summer. I'm
Hot
about to
girl
have
summer?
fun. Yeah.
Do you think you should go into relationships without any expectations? Because sometimes they say, well, you don't have any expectations, and some people do their bullshit. It's
Yes.
like, I expected it. I mean, it's kind of bad to think that way, but it's like, it stops you from being, you know...
I think you should go in a relationship with an open mind.
Right.
An open mind. And the reason why I say an open mind is because when you have expectations from someone,
Yeah.
you get disappointed faster.
Right.
And you're not giving them an honest chance because you had these such high expectations for them. I mean, everybody has expectations and stuff that they want. I'm not saying lower your expectations of what you want in a person,
Yeah.
but don't give expectations to a person. So yeah, I don't think you should have expectations.
That makes sense. Okay. What did you accomplish this year that you're most proud of?
So
You can answer that question, I see.
I accomplished getting back to my favorite place to work at.
Oh, right, okay.
I am back at iFly, and I am so happy. So very, very happy to be back there, to be back in that family environment. I feel like I am at home, and that has been like the highlight to the past 6 months of everything that I've been through. Is like I kind of feel like everything's like turning around. I'm like, yeah, I'm back there. Things are great. Things are good. Like that has been, yeah, getting back there. You know you happy when you turn down an offer that pays you more.
Yeah. So you used to work at iFly before?
Yes,
And
I used to
you
work
got
there.
back? Okay. And so it's a good environment, good people?
It's amazing. It's amazing environment to work at. It's some amazing people you will meet from actually all over, skydivers, and hearing their stories and talking to them. When I was at iFly in 2019, 2020, that's when my best friend passed away. And I remember coming down the stairs, and my boss, he caught me because that's how out of it I was. And he was like, "Are you okay?" I couldn't catch my breath. All I could do was cry.
Yeah.
And he got me. He put me in the office. He was like, "Drink some water,
Yeah.
take a deep breath." I could barely get it out, and then I got it out. And he was like, "I'm so sorry. What can I do?" It wasn't even about everybody upstairs flying. They need a driver, all this different stuff. He was like, "How can I help you? What do you need?" I've never had that before. Most people is like, "Oh, I'm sorry, take whatever time you need." It was,
Yeah.
what did I need? He was like, "No, you need to keep drinking your water. You're hyperventilating." He honestly wanted to make sure I was okay. And I was like, "Well, I'm going to go to the hospital." He was like, "Are you okay to drive? Do you need me to call you an Uber? Do you need me to drive you? Do you need me to go with you?"
Yeah.
And that's not something that you get from any job. And I had only been at that job a year. I hadn't even made it a year yet.
Is he still there? That same boss?
Yes, he's still there.
Oh,
He's
that's
the one who
good.
helped. He's the one who helped me get back in. He's the one who helped me get back in.
Okay.
But to have that and have that support, and it's like that throughout the company. Right before I flew here, I had to get plugs put in my eyes the day before.
Okay.
And the doctor, he had it, but I'm so scared and got full of anxiety or whatever. I'm nervous. He slipped and it pulled and it hurt. So I woke up with a headache. Everything was still blurry. I couldn't see. I managed to get my kids to message my boss for me, and I was like, I just need to kind of like lay down and see if I can get my stuff back together. Went back to sleep. Everything still was so like kind of blurred, and I was like, well, my headache is gone, but everything's. He's like, this is what you have PTO and sick days for. Take the day.
Right.
I'm like, but I don't want to be behind on work and everybody else. They'll be fine. Take the day. To just have that kind of care and like take care of yourself. We're gonna take care of this. Some places are like, well, when you get back, I'm gonna need you to do X, Y, Z, and A, B, and C. He was like, no, we're gonna cover you today. You're good. So I like that. I like that. They got my back.
Shout out to iFly. Shout out. All right. Compared to this time last year, are you happier or sadder? So you gotta go back to 2021 around this time. Let me see. Well, you in a relationship.
2021.
You in a relationship.
No, this is when he faked the suicide, so I was sad. So
Oh.
maybe we need to,
Wow.
maybe we need to roll.
Oh, pick the suicide.
Yeah, he faked the suicide.
Oh man.
But you know what?
June last year, you gotta figure out.
Oh,
That's a
June,
lot.
I was good by June.
Okay.
I was straight by June.
So you're a little more happier than you were.
Yeah, I'm happier now. I'm definitely happier now. But since I did bring him up and faking the suicide, I actually do owe an apology. That's one thing that is also very big about me. When I'm wrong about something, I can definitely admit that I'm wrong. I accused him of faking depression. And I really had to sit back and think about, was he actually faking depression or was he so depressed until he convinced himself of all these other things that was going on to make up another life because he was so unhappy within the life that he did have.
Right.
So yes, I do owe an apology for saying that he faked a depression because people don't really fake a depression. They fake pretending that they're okay. So yeah, I do owe, and I'm okay with giving him that and saying that, yes, I do feel at one point, or maybe still in his life, with everything that he possibly had went through and everything that was going on, he was a man that trapped himself in a situation to compensate, to try to be more happy with his life. And unfortunately, he hurt two women in the process.
So Ashley, apologize. You hear that? Whoever you are. Who are the people who are most had an impact in your mental health, helping you out with your mental health, besides your therapist?
I really have to say my kids at some point, and they don't even realize what they're doing. They're just your kids.
Well, that's why I didn't even think you would say something like that, but okay.
My kids, and they didn't really realize that.
Would they keep you happy, keep you in good spirits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They make you do stuff. They keep you going in such a sense when you don't want to go anymore. My friend Veronica, my friend Tasha, my friend Lily, and Lily, and the one I call my favorite ex.
You know who you are.
He definitely probably had the most impact on helping me with my mental health, and I don't even think he realized it, but just the simple fact of him caring and always being there and making sure that I'm okay. And it's like, at one point he was willing to pay for my therapy because he was like, yeah, you're crazy, I don't need you to come after me. But no, he was willing to like help me pay for my therapy. He knows that like my outlet and me, like to me, it's like me going dancing and having fun is me getting all like my negative energy out or whatever. He would take me to like the country bar. He would watch me dance. He would laugh. He would dance with me. he would do a lot of those things, and
Yeah.
he would just take me. Lily would drag me out. No, bitch, you're coming. Let's go. I don't have no money. Yo, you coming? Let's go. Tasha is exactly the same way. Girl, we're going. And Veronica, she's all the way in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
But when I had the miscarriage, she was actually in Puerto Rico. She FaceTimed me almost every day. I was like, "How you doing? Are you good? Are you good? Are you good? You need to come to Orlando? You need me to send you a ticket?" I'm like, "No, I don't want you to send me a ticket. I'm fine." "Are you sure? Because I see you a ticket." So I have some amazing friends.
Yeah, that's great. You got a good support system. It's good to have that.
And of course, me bothering you every 10 seconds.
Yeah.
You asked me the first question. What was the first question you asked me?
The first question. You able to answer it now? It says, what are some of the best experiences you had this year?
Me coming to the first show
Okay. Yeah, in February. We
In
did
February.
a Valentine's show, yeah.
was my best experience of 2022 so far. And the
Okay.
reason why is because I feel like I found my freaking voice.
Yeah.
From that show, I think I let one of my brother's friends listen to it and some other people. And that's when my brother friend was like, "Man, I want you to be my co-host. You had this voice."
Yeah.
And my brother was like, "That sister?" Like, not that sister. That's the choir sister. That sister though. He was like, "No, have you seen her? She's like..." So I found my voice through that, and
You also have a podcast yourself, right?
yes,
People know about
starting
that
a
one.
podcast
Starting a
myself.
podcast,
Yes, it's
yeah.
going to be called "Spill the Tea and Spin the Bottle." So I'm going to be spilling a lot of tea, people. So if you didn't
Interesting. It's an interesting.
fucked up with me in the past couple of years, I'm gonna be spilling your tea. I'm so sorry, but that has played a part in my mental health journey. I also joined a boxing gym. Boxing for All is in Tomball off of Kirkendall. I joined that, but unfortunately I had to stop when I started having all this eye trouble.
Yeah.
I had to stop, but me getting to go there and go a couple of rounds and on the treadmill,
Yeah, you're releasing that energy.
releasing
Release
that
stress,
energy.
yeah.
And gosh, what's his name? Mike, the owner. He would be like, "I'm gonna make you sweat." And I'm like, "I don't want to come and sweat today." "Nah, you gonna sweat today, but I just want to come hit the bag." "Nah, you hitting people too hard. You gonna sweat today?" He would like give me such a good workout, and I would feel like so much lighter and so amazed. And
Yeah.
his wife is amazing. It's a family-owned business, and they were amazing. Live Life Community is on Instagram. My friend Simeon, he's a life coach now, and just watching some of the things that he would talk about his life journey, about reading and connecting with your inner soul and connecting with your inner self,
Yeah.
and getting out and doing more. That was great. So those three things.
Those three things. Yes, if you notice what they have in common too, they basically help you to let go of all that negative energy and that stress. Even with the podcast too, you being able to basically have your topics and talk about it, and
Yeah, talk about it, get it all
Get it all
out.
out.
Get it all out. So yeah, those my best experience thus far in 2020.
2022. What people, situations, or events cause you to feel sad or depressed? Well, I guess we talked about that.
I don't like Christmas. I don't like Christmas. I don't like holidays and stuff sometimes because I feel like I'm always alone. So my family, we do like these big events, and I'm so ready for them to come back, kind of, sort of. But when it's time to come around, I'm always the fine single sister. Like, nobody wants me, so I feel like I'm alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes I don't really, and my friends, they probably would slap me for saying this, but sometimes I don't feel like I fit in with them. I feel like I'm in my own world,
Well, that's the way to be.
and I don't feel like I fit in my family.
You know what? People look at it bad, like you don't fit in. You don't want to fit in. You want to stand out. You don't want to go on with the rest of the crowd. You want to be like everybody else. You have
Not
to be
when
yourself.
I say like fit in, how can I word it differently?
Everyone's married and booed up. You're not.
Yeah, there we go. That's a better way to put it.
All right, I get what you're saying now.
I'm the single friend. You ever seen them memes where it's like hug, 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 alcohol bottle? I'm the alcohol bottle.
And you're the one they be like, "What's wrong with her? Why she so single? She's so fine, got a lot going for herself, and she's single. What's wrong with her?"
Since you brought that up, like I hate for people to notice how fine I am
Yeah.
first. before they actually notice me, because it's like,
That's the world we live in. People look at you and see look at your body before they get to know you. You know.
it's so much more to me now. I mean, it's okay to see me and look at my body, and like, of course, everyone has their initial attraction to someone.
Right.
But if I can't have a conversation with you without you saying, "Dang, you fine, man,"
You got a fat ass.
yeah. They're like, okay, tell me some shit I don't know. Next.
I said the same thing. I was talking to some of my male friends, my own boys, to say, listen, I said, yeah, she might be fine, she might be cute, you know, gorgeous, nice body, but at the end of the day, what else does she bring to the table? I mean, you know, because looks in the body, that's gonna go away. You as a person, your character is what I have to deal with, like whatever time we're gonna be dating, or whether we get married or long term. I have to deal with you, so I have to get to know you better. I want to know you more. I mean, all the sex and all that stuff, yeah, that's the icing on the cake. That's gonna come eventually. You know, so if you know, when you just go after someone for the looks, you're gonna get bored and tired of them, and then obviously things ain't gonna work out if you're not really in it for them.
Yeah.
You know, you're not really trying to hook up with them because you really see something about them that you really like. And, you know, trying to, like you say, try to get to know a person. So,
yeah.
but these days, you know, you ain't gonna get that, Ashley.
gonna get
When a
that.
guy see that with you, the first thing you think about, oh shit, let me go holler at her. Let me holler at her. Before we wrap it up real quick, who you talked about, you made an apology to someone a few minutes ago. Who did you need to forgive this year?
Bro, we need to start. We ain't got enough time on that show. We ain't got enough time left for who I need to forgive. I need to
Who did
forgive.
you need to forgive this year?
I do need to forgive him. I'm not ready. And that's the truth. Like, I'm not ready. I needed to forgive my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And that happened by me and my little brother having a fight. And then my daddy wanted to. I was like, not today, because you don't want to bring up these subjects. Not today. Mm. And he kept pushing it, so he brought it up, and me and him had to face some nasty realities of our relationship. Like, no, you did not do this for me. No, you did not tell me that. Those are things that you're saying that you did, but you don't remember. And that's the problem. Like, you don't never remember. And, you know, he apologized. He's like, I'm sorry. I never meant to hurt you. That was never my intentions. Mm-hmm. You know, so I needed to forgive my dad, and I did forgive him. When I say forgive my dad, don't get it wrong, in anybody. I did not have, like, a hatred towards my dad. Like, I talk to my dad all the time. At one point, I just made a decision that I want a relationship with my father. So I was just going to have to kind of, like, just have the relationship that I was going to have. Like, I wasn't going to be able to hold on those grudges and do all those things. I was just going to have this is going to be the extent of our relationship. It's not going to get no better than this. Mm. And, you know, I had to forgive him, and he apologized, and I was able to forgive him. So I had to forgive my dad.
No, that's great.
The other person, I'm not ready yet. Not yet. Not happening.
All right, so we only have a few more minutes. Let's wrap it up. What do you have to say to people who are in the who are suffering from mental health? What are your advice you have to give to them? What advice you give to people?
Honestly, if you're out there suffering from mental health, find help. I do know that help can be expensive, but they do have a lot of different community centers that is around different places. Mm-hmm. I want to say in Houston, it's called Jones Community Center, and it's $30 to see a therapist to get the help that you need. Reach out to someone. Stay away from your triggers.
Triggers meaning?
Like mine is relationships. Some people is...
Everyone has different triggers. You're trying to say.
Everyone has a different trigger. Mine just happened to be, you know, the breakups from relationships. Yeah. You know, I can't say stay away from your triggers because your triggers are always around, but know your triggers and be aware of your triggers. And try to control them. Try to get a handle on it before it's get a handle on you, in better words. Right. That's what I can say about that. Yeah, and talk to someone. Just talk to someone, even if they are not the person that you want to talk to, even if they're just at least you getting that energy out of you. Talk to someone. And I wanted to say this earlier. men, when your guy friends come and tell you that they sad and tell you that they hurt mentally, don't be like, nah, nigga, go get some pussy, you good. No, because it's deeper than that.
Yeah.
It is deeper than that. For women, I ain't gonna tell somebody I'm depressed right now. Everybody's, oh my God, what can I do for you? How can I help you?
Right.
You need this, you need that. When a man does it, he's framed as weak, and that is not fair.
That happens a lot, yeah.
That is not fair. So for guys out there, if your homeboy come to you and he's like, man, I'm feeling depressed, I'm feeling down, my girl left me, don't call him a punk.
Yeah.
Don't call him weak. Be there for him. Listen to him.
The way they have it in society now is like men are not supposed to go through certain things. Men are not supposed to cry, man up kind of thing. Like, yo, get over it. You'll get over it.
That's why the male suicide rate is higher than the female.
Right. It's
Because
crazy.
the females, and the crazy thing is, it's not just society, but the government will help her 10 times more than they would help him.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. We had a conversation with a friend a long time ago. You know how guys have sons? Man, my son gonna be fucking all these hoes. My son gonna be this.
Right.
He was the one, he was like, not my son. Not mine. Like, I don't want my son out here fucking no hoes. I want my, because the same thing with that. The government is gonna help her. She's gonna get food stamps. She's gonna get housing. She gonna get everything she needs.
He got to pay child support.
And he gonna have to pay child support. And they gonna fuck him.
That's
Same
true.
thing.
I didn't even think about it like that.
Same, and it's the same way to look at mental health and everything. It's not equal. It's not.
People look at mental health like, oh, it's like, it has this thing like, oh,
You crazy.
You're crazy kind of thing.
You crazy.
You crazy. You go mental health? You going therapy?
You going to therapy? What's
Yeah.
a therapist for?
Yeah, going therapy. Yeah.
Yo,
People
this
look at
is-
therapy like you crazy.
I did anger management
Mm-hmm.
4 times. Yeah. I did anger management 4 times when I was married to Dante's dad.
Okay.
I threw a pair of scissors at his head.
Oh, wow.
He made me that mad. But I finally passed because I was getting kicked out of anger management. That's how bad it was. Yeah, I threw a chair in
Wow.
anger management. Yeah, so yeah, I got kicked out of anger management too. But I finally passed. I did anger management 4 times, and I've been to therapy 3 different times. But I want to continue to go to therapy regularly, even if it's just once a month, like once a month type thing, or yeah, definitely once a month. I think you need to just go see a therapist, even if you just let it all out
Yeah.
and listen to what they have to say. My therapist is absolutely freaking amazing. I love this man because he is on the track of helping me,
Yeah.
not on the track of getting a paycheck. He is on the track of helping someone. So that's why I appreciate him.
So clear it up. Therapy is not for crazy people, right?
It's not for crazy people.
Right. Yeah.
It's for people who want to grow in life, who want something more than just a mediocre happiness. They want to be beyond happy.
All right, Ashley. Thanks for coming all the way from Houston once again and coming on the show.
Thank you.
Before you leave, let people know how they can get in contact with you once again on social media.
You guys can follow me. It is KNIPJA at Instagram. I will be posting my first show on Spill the Tea and Spill the Bottle. We're going to be talking about The Price is Right.
Ooh,
So,
Price is Right. You hear that title? Are you going to have a separate Instagram account for that, or it's going to put it on your...
I'm just going to put it on my regular
On your
one.
regular one,
Because
yeah.
I already have 2, because I have my... I'm starting that one too, the Cousins Photography. Anybody that's a photographer that has worked with me is going to be called the Cousins Photography.
Okay.
We're going to post all our work, all our pictures on there. So if you do need a photographer or videographer within the Houston, Texas, Metro, Dallas area, you can go to Cousins Photography and everything's going to be right there. You can pick and choose your own. But yeah, so if anybody out there that's a entrepreneur, DJ, MC, photographer, cook, whatever the case may be, send me something in my DM about The Price is Right. What are your prices for what you do?
All right. Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you.
This wraps up another episode of Face to Face. Yours truly, Nessa Can. Take care and God bless.